Donald Trump is out past 2 p.m. and he's out of the White House. He's in Georgia. I'm sorry to anyone who lives in Georgia. If you felt the energy change, that's why. Donald Trump is in your state. And Donald Trump gave a speech on affordability, but really we all know that what Donald Trump did was just air his grievances. And he was there to pimp out someone who's running for U.S. Senate in Georgia. If you don't know, there is a U.S. Senate race that you are going to have to vote for in November. And here's the guy that they apparently are for.
You help us out in November, I'm going to kick Ossoff out of the state's U.S. Senate. We're going to restore Georgia values out in that Senate. And y'all, we're going to continue to take our country back. Thank you.
Oh my God, he looks like a fish. Look at how greasy he is. Anyway, so that is one person that the Republicans are lifting up for U.S. Senate in Georgia. And I like our chances. All right, now Donald Trump, as I said, showed up to a diner confused and truly incoherent. Here he is meeting with the workers.
45 years. 24 years. You're too young for that. Come on, wait. I'll get on. Let's get a good one. My president right there. Come on. Lord of the cash register.
And here he is saying, what am I even doing?
What am I doing? Am I doing an interview here with some wonderful sportscaster that I hear great things about? Who the hell, do you think Biden would do this? I don't think so. Think Biden would talk about the NIL? He has no idea what it is. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go. I'd like to have a little hair and makeup.
He is just so, I mean, I don't want to say he's just very flamboyant, isn't he? Just want a little hair and makeup. So flamboyant. All right, Donald Trump said this about Joe Biden, and he looks like sweaty as hell. My God.
I apologize for that, Kelly. I apologize. So it's the worst inflation in 48. Actually, I think they're wrong. I think it is actually in history. We had the worst inflation in history under Sleepy Joe Biden. He was sleeping while you were working. No, he was sleeping while you were trying to get a job. You weren't working.
Was he sleeping? Sleepy Joe Biden? Now, this is literally earlier today at Donald Trump's peace summit. Donald Trump doing what he always does, projecting, because earlier today at his peace summit, that's really just a grift where he gets to get $10 billion or something like that. You tell me if he looks like he's asleep.
دولة الكويت الثابت بدعم كل مسعى يهدف إلى رفع المعاناة عن الشعب الفلسطيني الشقيق وتحقيق الأمن والاستقرار في غزة. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Great show. The clapping woke him up. Maybe the editor, maybe we can add a little bit of sleepy time music. What is this?
Hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges.
That's in response to Prince Andrew being arrested following the Epstein files revelations. That's very funny. Sorry, that just came in. That came in real time. Okay. Donald Trump also said that affordability is fake.
And then I have to listen to the fake news talking about affordability. Affordability. You notice, what word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won affordability.
I mean, I think this is a great question to ask you. Are things cheaper for you in your life? Has the price of food gone down? Has the price of electricity gone down? Has your rent gone down? In what measurable ways have things gotten expensive? In what measurable ways has your life improved? I would say, for me, my life hasn't gotten any better. And by the way, side note, this is something I always try to stick on when people are like, illegal immigrants are ruining our country. I'm like, okay, how? How? In what way has an illegal immigrant ruined your life today? Did they steal food from your refrigerator? No. It's just like, it's like they do it both ways. Is on one way, they say everything's fine. And then another, they say everything's terrible. I mean, that's what's so interesting is that when you ask for facts, we have plenty of facts on how affordability is truly a problem in this country. And then when you ask them for facts about what they assert, which is that illegal immigration hurts everyday Americans. I'm like, all right, interesting. How has it hurt you today, this week, this month? They can never show it. So anyways, here's a violently sweaty Trump saying that he was hoping to receive violent kisses.
He said something that his wife is going to be extremely upset. I said, how are you doing? He said, President, if I didn't have all these cameras running, I would grab you and start kissing you violently. And I said, why is that? He said, because what you've done for us economically in this state, in this town, with the tariffs in particular.
I don't believe you. And that's actually the second time Donald Trump, just today, has referenced lusting for a man. This is what actually happened. Trump says that this man has a company and was in trouble until he put tariffs in place. Watch.
So this gentleman has a now great company. He was in big trouble 2 years ago, and then I put on the tariffs, and now he's going round the clock, making the racks, making the steel, making everything that he makes. And it's just amazing what's happened, that anybody can be complaining about tariffs. He just said, I'd give you a big hug if the press wasn't out here.
Notice how I went from hug to kissing you violently. Anyways, this business owner wanted to say it's been a game changer. We were competing with China. They were producing racks at $90 a piece. Ours costs alone are $150. You leveled it. And then someone very smart pointed out, Erica York, said, a great example of how tariffs raise prices. The protected firm can now profitably sell its higher priced goods because of the tariffs, but it does so at the expense of all downstream users who now have to pay those higher prices. So Donald Trump really is helping the 1% make more money at the expense of your pocketbook. That's basically as simple as it is. And Donald Trump ended the night by admitting he's not going to heaven.
It's not worthy of heaven. I'm not going to make it. And I was having a good time going, I was having fun. I hope to make it. But I doubt I will, to be honest with you. A lot of you will. I'm not so sure. But I was having fun.
It actually doesn't sound like he's having fun. It sounds like he is aware of his own mortality and that he's looking back at everything he's done. And perhaps through the fog of his decrepit mind, he can see a little clearly that the things he's done and the things he's said aren't one of someone who lives with morality. And people who do not live with morality, if heaven is real, typically don't end up there. Well, I guess you can I don't understand this, because at the end of your life, can't you just be like, no, Jesus is my savior, Jesus is real, and then you're into heaven? Isn't there a get out? That's how I understand it. Maybe I'm wrong. I think that would make sense, but maybe you had to actually believe that in your heart. I don't know if Donald Trump ever would. Okay, bye.